After 7 years, the Predator franchise has finally returned to the big screen, but was it worth the wait? Hey guys, welcome back to Nerd Nation. My name is Chase, and today I'm going to be talking to you without spoilers about Predator Badlands, directed by Dan Trachtenberg, the guy who brought us Prey and this year's Predator Killer of Killers. Cast out of his clan, a young Predator finds an unlikely ally in a damaged android and embarks on a treacherous journey in search for the ultimate adversary. I'm a fan of the Predator franchise. The first two and Prey I think are really good, but I don't really care for 2010's Predators, and I especially don't care for 2018's The Predator. However, I had a lot of confidence in this film. Dan Trachtenberg is clearly someone who understands this franchise, and while I have yet to see Killer of Killers, Prey was easily the best sequel we've gotten from this franchise. Plus, Badlands is entirely from the point of view of the Predator, a first for this franchise. All signs pointed towards this movie being a win, and now that I've seen it, I can say that while Badlands isn't the best of the franchise, it is still a really good film. Starting with the positives, the world building in this movie is next level. The majority of this film takes place on this planet called Genna, and it feels incredibly lived in. There are so many cool and unique creature designs, and there's some pretty interesting lore behind them too. You can tell that the filmmakers put a lot of thought and effort into creating this odd, highly dangerous universe with weird rules. It's easily one of the strongest parts of this movie. The action is also great. Our main character Deck has many encounters with the creatures previously mentioned, and each one is trying to kill him in some sort of way. There's a sense of urgency to the action in this film, and I didn't always know if Deck was going to get out alive or not. There are a lot of very close calls, and it makes the movie all the more thrilling. Plus, the movie is surprisingly gory. A lot has been said about the PG-13 rating, and to be honest, I didn't feel like it was rated PG-13. There's still a lot of gore, dismemberment, and to an extent decapitations, but there aren't any humans in this movie, so there's no red blood spilled. The blood in this movie is a bright green, so as such, they're able to get away with a PG-13 rating. I felt that this was just as violent as some of the R-rated movies in the series, and it gave me the carnage I come to expect in a Predator movie. The acting in this movie is surprisingly great. I'm likely going to pronounce this guy's name wrong, but Demetrius Kolomontagi is really good as Deck. He has to play this non-human creature that speaks a completely different and made-up language, and he's really good at it. I never got the feeling that I was watching an actor play a creature on screen. I felt like I was actually watching this creature on screen. Also good in the movie is Elle Fanning, who is the latest actor to go so nice I had to do it twice in 2025. She plays two Weyland-Yutani androids, one of which isn't really in the marketing, so to avoid spoilers, I won't go much into her characters. What I will say, however, is that Fanning is great in this movie. The whole purpose of an actor playing two different characters is to make us feel like we're watching two completely different performances, and that's exactly what Fanning does. I never felt like I was watching two Elle Fannings stitched together. I felt like I was watching two completely different characters with two completely different personalities. Something else I thought was really good in this movie that I don't see a lot of people bringing up is the score. I think the score, composed by Sarah Schachner and Benjamin Wallfisch, is excellent. I think it's a lot of the reason why the film works so well. It elevates the action scenes and makes them feel more epic, and it works really well in the more emotional and tender moments. Moving on to the negatives, I thought the pacing for this film was a bit wonky at times. I think the first hour of the movie is incredibly entertaining. There's not a single dull moment, but the movie kind of reaches its peak near the hour mark with an incredible fight sequence, and after that, it feels like it has to rebuild the momentum for the final action scene, and I'm not sure if it did. I wouldn't call the finale bad or anything. I still thought it was pretty entertaining, but I do feel like the third act is where the pacing drags the most. The movie is only like an hour and 50 minutes long with credits, and yet I did feel the runtime at some points. I also think the writing for this movie could have been better. I really like the world building and the themes in this film, and I can't really touch on the themes without going into spoilers, but the overarching story felt a bit underwritten to me. This felt like a story I had seen dozens of times before, and it didn't really do anything different from them. Having the movie take place from the perspective of the Predator is different, but the actual story of the movie doesn't really do much to reinvent the wheel for this franchise. Overall, some rocky pacing in the third act and some bad moments of screenwriting hold Predator Badlands back from being the best of the franchise and even the best sequel. But phenomenal world building, brutal action, great performances, and a really good score make this Predator movie worth watching in theaters. I'm going to give Predator Badlands an 8 out of 10. Guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, you can check out my review of the original Predator on my channel now. And stay tuned, because tomorrow I'll be covering Back to the Future for its 40th anniversary. With that said, I'll see you guys next time.